Meghan may have understood that members of the royal family, from whom she and Harry have grown alienated, would not appreciate seeing her at such a difficult moment. According to a BBC royal journalist, because the Queen's health took a sudden turn for the worse Thursday and her death was announced as Harry's plane was on its way to Scotland, and confusion grew about whether Meghan would accompany him, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will regret their previous decision not to take time out of their trip to Europe this week to visit his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II at Balmoral Castle. Harry wasn't the only senior royal to miss being with Queen Elizabeth II in her last hours. The Daily Mail reported that Prince William, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward and his wife Sophie took an earlier trip to Aberdeen on Thursday, but they did not arrive in time to see her before she died. According to the Daily Mail, only the Queen's eldest children, the new King Charles III and Princess Anne, who were already in Scotland, were able to see her before her death. Prince Harry arrived at Balmoral almost an hour and a half after his grandmother's death was announced at 6:30 p.m. According to the Daily Mail in the United Kingdom, Harry, who now lives in California, was in his homeland to attend a charity event in London on Thursday night, but he was forced to rearrange his plans and rush to Balmoral after learning that his 96-year-old grandmother's health had deteriorated. Initially, a Sussex's representative announced around 1:30 p.m. that the Daily Mail said that Meghan would accompany her husband to Balmoral. This came approximately an hour after Buckingham Palace made the historic statement that doctors were concerned about the Queen's health. According to the Daily Mail, an unexpected comment on the Queen's health was interrupted as a warning to the people that the situation was very serious. The Sussexes then had a late change of plans, according to the sources close to the couple, who told journalists at 4:30 p.m. The Daily Mail said that Meghan would remain in London. It's unclear why Meghan chose not to go to Balmoral, but the BBC's royal correspondent, Nicholas Witchell, suggested on air that she may have realised that members of the royal family, from whom she and Harry had grown estranged, would not appreciate seeing her at such a difficult time, according to the Daily Mail. To be perfectly honest, she might not be terribly warmly welcomed, Witchell told the Daily Mail. According to Duncan Larcombe, a former royal editor of the British tabloid The Sun and a biographer of Prince Harry and Meghan, she may have made a very sensible decision not to intrude on the family's grief. Larcombe also speculated that Harry's father, Charles, may have requested his problematic daughter-in-law not to attend. The Queen died peacefully at her beloved Scottish estate after 70 years on the throne, the royal family said 2 hours after Meghan's decision to stay in London. The Daily Mail reported that Harry arrived at the airport 15 minutes later but did not get to Balmoral until around 8 p.m. Larcombe described Harry's inability to fly on the trip to Scotland, carrying William, Edward, Sophie and Andrew, as strange. That plane landed many hours before Harry's. Buckingham Palace did not answer to a Daily Beast inquiry about why no seats were available on that flight, or why the announcement about the Queen's death was delayed until Harry arrived at Balmoral. According to the Daily Beast, Harry's late arrival may have been seen by some as a snub or as additional evidence of the Sussexes' ongoing feud with the royal family. However, according to the latest Daily Mail report today, September the 9th, Harry boarded a flight to Heathrow after leaving Balmoral after 12 hours of mourning the Queen with his father, King Charles III, and brother Prince William. And it was claimed that he will stay in Britain for 10 days until the state funeral. Just last week, reports said the Queen Elizabeth was facing heartbreak from Meghan Markle because the couple had turned down her invitation to Balmoral. The Sussexes, who are currently travelling across Europe for some of Meghan's charitable ventures, were asked to join the royal family for summer in Scotland. Royal expert Katie Nicholl quotes a source as she reveals Harry and Meghan were invited at the end of August. She added, "The Queen always has this wonderful extended stay for her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. There is a big sleepover at Balmoral, where they were invited to go to that." She added they were also invited to go to Birk Hall with the Prince of Wales, and thus far they haven't done it. Ms Nicholl said, "I know from sources very close to the Prince of Wales that he is prepared to do anything it would take to get his relationship back on track. I think not least because he wants to as a father. He wants to see his children as a grandfather. But I think he is acutely aware that there could be this rift that threatens to overshadow his future reign as well. Although the Sussexes were not planning to visit the Queen in Scotland during their visit to the UK and Germany, the couple were also not expected to have any contact with Harry's older brother William or his wife Kate Middleton, even though they were staying at Frogmore Cottage in Windsor Great Park, a short distances from the Cambridges' new home there. Harry and William, once close, have been estranged since Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal life and moved to the United States. Harry and Meghan's relationship with his family has become even more fraught and possibly non-existent in some cases after the couple began making a series of public revelations about the life in the royal family. Both in their March 2021 Oprah Winfrey interview and in Meghan's most recent revelations in her new Spotify podcast and in New York magazine's The Cut, the couple have been critical of the royal family, saying that they are repressive, dysfunctional and out of touch with modern values. She claimed that she and Harry were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy simply by existing, according to a 6,500-word profile of Meghan published in The Cut 10 days before the Queen's death. The American Duchess claims she was relieved to be allowed to tell my own story and that she was free to say anything, but that it was taking a lot of effort to forgive the royal family and her own estranged family. This was seen by some as a threat to the royal family. In April, on the Today Show, Harry said some deeply troubling things regarding his connection with his grandmother. He stressed his and Meghan's tight relationship with the monarchy, saying that they had named their first daughter Lilibet after the monarch's childhood nickname. Arrogantly, Harry added that the Queen could tell him topics she couldn't talk about with anyone else and that he, not his relatives, in the UK, was responsible for